Hi everyone. So today we're going to look at making a card with a pair of dungarees on the front with a matching shirt, and there's lots of different variations. I'm not going to show you my favourite yet, but we're going to have a look at how to make a basic shirt and dungarees. Okay, so the first thing we need is a base card, and the sizes can be adjusted, but I'm working on a 15 centimetre or 6-inch wide card. So I have cut myself some 15 centimetre pretty paper that's going to be my shirt. And this time we're making a lady's shirt, really, because it's nice and pretty and floral. Okay, so this one can be any length at all. It doesn't have to be the full length of the card, but we're going to turn it over and we're going to mark 7.5 centimeters because it's 15 wide. We want a halfway point. So we're going to measure 7.5, and I'm coming down and I'm measuring 7.5 there. I'm going to put a line across at 4 centimeters. I'll put all the inches up in the top corner as usual. So I'm going to just draw a rough line across. Okay. Right, so there's my center line, and I'm going to just draw down to my 4 centimeter line there. So we've got like an upside down T. Right, from this top area here, I'm marking out 3.5 centimeters this side and 3.5 centimeters this side. So I'm just going to put a little mark there. And I want to take a small ball tool, and I just want to score lightly down to that point. Turn it round, and I'm scoring from the 3.5 down to the point. This is making our collar. So I can now just rub my pencil line out because I don't want that showing. Right, I can see where my line is, and I'm just going to cut down to the 4 centimeter line. Now, handy little tip now, right, is to just bend your score lightly, but then I like to get my ruler, line it up and fold it over the ruler to get a nice crisp fold. So push your ruler in, fold it over, and there we have a lovely collar. Okay, I've got a tiny wisp of paper there. Go. Right, I'm going to take my fabric paper that's going to be my pattern on my shirt, and I'm going to attach it to the front of the card. Now, like I said, you don't actually need all of this lot. I'm going to give it a quick spray adhesive. You can use whatever you like, but for speed, the spray adhesive works brilliantly. So just lining it up, and I'm just going to cut off the excess. Yep. So I've covered my card, but nobody's going to see this bottom bit here. Now we're going to put that to one side for the moment, and this is the paper that I've decided will be for my dungarees. Okay, so it is 15 centimeters wide, same as the shirt, and it's 16.5 centimeters deep. So there we go. I'm going to turn it over, and I want to make a 5 centimetre line down, or 2 inches on the top bit. Now I'm going to measure it, right, but I know that my ruler is 5 centimetres, so I could just place that on and do my line across. Okay, we're then going to measure in 2.5 centimetres each side, or an inch. So I'm going 2.5 centimetres, 2.5 centimetres, and I'm going to repeat down here, and I'm just giving myself a faint line just to work with. Now the magic bit, we need to cut the armholes. So I'm going to take a roll of double-sided tape. I'm going to line my tape up with this line here, and I'm going to make it curve to this line here. So I'm going to slide it in and just mark round. So there's the curve of my sleeve. Now if I take my scissors, I'm going to just cut the line of my sleeve, the armhole, clip that off. You can save this one, because what we're going to do now is to transfer it to this side and make sure that both of our armholes are exactly the same. I will show you what I would keep these for later. Okay, so let's just pop that onto there, and you can see how our pair of dungarees is coming together. Right, we now want to mark in for the punched holes for the brads, or the buttons. So I'm going to come in about a centimetre. I'm just estimating it, and about a centimetre down. So this is not a craft punch as such, it's for a knitting machine, but I happen to think it makes a really small hole. So use whatever you have to hand to make your holes. So I have 2 holes here, and I've cut myself from matching paper 2 strips that are 2 centimetres wide. Doesn't really matter how long they are at the moment, but we're going to, in a minute, punch holes in these as well. But I wanted to add a little bit extra. So I've put double-sided tape on already, and I want to stick them to this colour, which is in my pattern, and it's actually the colour of the ferns that are on there. So I take this. I want to leave myself plenty of room around because we're going to do fancy scissors. So there we go. Somebody's moved my bin. This is, let's see. A small scallop. There we go. And I'm putting the small scallop right alongside my strip. And I'm just going to cut all the way along. Now I know from what I've been playing with already, I could probably get 2 strips out of here, but I'm going to cut same, both ones the same. Down the next side there. It's only a small pattern, so it's easy to match up. Right. You're not going to see this bottom bit, so we're going to just cut that off. Cut that off, and I'm just going to put my hole in the middle of the bit. Right, so I'm going to take my dungarees. I've got some little brads here into the main dungarees, into the strap, and just open out. Okay. My next one goes into the dungarees, into the strap, and open out at the back. It's always worth just putting your fingers on there to push them home. Right. Okay, now I'm going to tuck those under there, and I want to stick this bottom edge. So I'm going to put double-sided tape. It's there. Then I just need a little bit on here to just hold that shirt down a bit more. Right, so now we've got two arms that move. Now, all I do now is guess by eye that this is halfway between the shoulders and that one is halfway between the shoulders. Okay, pop a little bit of wet glue. If I use wet glue, it means that I've got a little bit of wiggle room to fix it. Okay, level those up like that, and just take your scissors and cut off. Now, I did say that I could have probably got these out of one. Okay, so I've got that left over that I could easily do another card. Now, this is the collar that is turning back, and I want to take a little bit of glue, double-sided, and pop that there so it holds the collar down. And it is nice if the collar just goes over the straps a little. You can always add an extra colour inside here if you wish. So there is our main dungarees fixed and our shirt on there. So now we're looking at some of the decoration. Now I wanted to show you a nifty little trick. This is a die cut panel, and it's a square, and I want a rectangular pocket. So what I'm going to do is let's just finish poking those out. What I'm going to do is cut my panel, and I'm going to go for that little spot. I need it to be the same both ends, so it's a straight line. Now I'm going to put double-sided tape across there, and I'm going to take this, and I can match up my pattern so it's exact on that side and exact on that side. So looking through the holes, you would never know that I've slid part of it underneath. So I'm going to look at this now, and it is just under 6, just under 7.5. So I'm going to use the same pattern as here, and that is going to pop into the middle there, and it's going to cover the fact that I've got this line across. So blue. And wet glue gives me a little wiggle room to get it right. Now, what started off as a square die cut has now given me my rectangular pocket. Okay, now I could put that straight onto there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the same colour, this light green, just around the outsides. Place that onto there, and then I'm coming round with my scissors, and I'm just going round so that it matches the points of my die. You can make them as complicated as you like, and when you see the last one, which is my favourite, I must admit, you'll see you can really go to town on them. So that I'm going to stick onto there, but I'm sticking 3 sides so that I can put something in the pocket. So I take my narrow tape, I do like printing a complementary colour on the back of my papers, so I've got double-sided papers. So there's my 3 sides. That's my 3 sides. Make sure my flowers are up the right way, and I'm going to centre that on there. So there's our basic shirt, collar sticking out, and we've made our dungarees. So let's have a look at a few extra ideas. Okay, if I bring back these, this was the original one, and I've printed off some denim paper, and we've got gold brads on that one and striped shirt. Okay, I have printed it front and back with the stripes so that when the collar folds back, it's a matching one to the original paper. So here's our denim, and I've deliberately put the denim going the opposite way onto the pocket so it stands out a bit more, and I've just used a bit of the striped paper behind here. These were just a few die cuts that I had, but it could be an artist, it could be a gardener with little packets of seeds inside. There's so many different variations. So here's one I started to make for a gardener, and I've used a pretty flowered paper on the background, contrast with little gingham dungarees on it. This time I've actually used real buttons on there instead of brads, and all I've done is put a little bit of a glue dot behind them to hold the straps in place and also the buttons. So I can easily add little bits of seeds and perhaps a trowel. Okay. This one started off to be a little girl's dungarees. My neighbour has just had a little baby girl, so in a couple of years to come, maybe they'll be getting one of these with the little girl, perhaps with her name on the front. So that's a basic one. But my favourite of all has to be this one, which is a farmer's outfit. So we have adorable scoreable in this brown. We've got gingham. We've got a white collar that turns back. And what I've done is I've die cut some wheat, and I had some decoupage of some little mice and acorns. So we've got the little acorns there. We've got the pockets. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the video, when we cut the armholes off, I said it was useful to keep the bit we cut out because we used it to reverse and cut the second armhole. But I have added a couple of extra pockets on here, and I've used the same armhole to cut around the pockets. So, right, it's a nice touch to make if you've got a lot more things to put into the pockets. But it could be a child's apron, it could be anything. It could just be an apron, and you could put cooking utensils and things inside inside the apron pockets. So it doesn't have to be dungarees. Okay, so have a go, have a play and see what you can come up with. And most of all, have fun. God bless you all.